And we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Magic Mondays, our Mondays of talking about the moon and its magic. I am thirsty. It is finally hot in Portugal, where I'm living. And I'm here to talk about this week's moon journey. Suggest a little bit of an exercise. I'm not going to do a guided meditation today. And draw the cards for this week. So as we are speaking, I'm just going to check it. The moon is still in Libra. Yesterday she had her first quarter moon. And I think by what I felt and by what the people that I've been talking with felt was a pretty harsh moon. It came with some strong emotions. So right now the moon is at the last degrees of Libra. And besides her being in this 90 degrees square with the sun, which makes it a hard angle, it is also doing a lot of other aspects that are pretty strong with Saturn, with Jupiter, with Pluto, so with heavy planets. I'm not going to get too much into that. Just for me, it's you being able to observe what has been happening at the new moon, at the solar eclipse, which was on 21st of June. So not yesterday, but 1 week before on Sunday. And observing what was this weekend bringing to life, right? We usually use the new moon to plant intentions, and some are conscious, some are unconscious. And the first quarter is giving us the first look into what have we planted. And the full moon that is going to come this weekend is going to bring to bloom, to completion, what we've planted at the new moon. Also remembering that as we are in eclipse season, everything that we plant now and all our intentions become much more powerful, and it can also be there's the possibility of planting these intentions for a longer period of time, so for 6 months from this new moon until the next eclipse. So tonight the moon is going to get out of Libra, get out of this hard tense with the sun and with other planets, and she's going to go into Scorpio. So Tuesday and Wednesday, we are going to have the possibility to really feel our emotions at a deeper level, to really allow ourselves to go deep, to feel deep, and to maybe look at subjects that has to do with power, with money, with sex, with intimacy with other people. This is all Scorpio's domain. While the moon will be in Scorpio, she's going to make a supportive aspect with Mercury in Cancer. And maybe, who knows, we are going to receive some important messages. Here to mention that Mercury, it's retrograde. So right now, besides all the other retrogrades that are going on, Mercury, it's inviting us to look back, to maybe look at the past, to reorganize, reframe, restructure, replan. So If you receive some messages from people from your past, maybe those are invitations for you to take another look at those chapters of your life and see if it's anything that needs to be closed in order for something new to begin. And after she cruises through the deep waters of Scorpio, the moon will enter Sagittarius. So starting with Thursday, we are going to move into the mutable fire, a little bit of more happy energy, active energy, celebration entering in the weekend. To be reminded that also this week we are ending with the month of June and we are starting the month of July. So we are more and more stepping into this summer of 2020. And I think that it's going to be the first weekend of July, hopefully with a little bit of more uplifted mood, celebration. Also taking consideration, we are still in eclipse season, we are still in full retrograde, so it can be an intense time, whatever that intensity can be for you. It's always important to keep in mind an approach of what is it that you are learning, what is it that you are taking from all of this, instead of seeing yourself as a victim of the circumstances. It is important for me, and I'm going to repeat it as long as I keep on doing these videos, that we are not at the mercy of the planets, but the planets are in our service. So we can look at our astrology and the movement of the stars from this perspective of how is it that we can better use for our own growth the proposals that we are having from the stars, right? They are not, I don't believe that the aspects are telling us absolute truths. They are just coming with proposals that we are free to say yes or no to. But for me, it's important to keep always the what am I learning from this kind of approach. And then during the weekend, after she gets out of Sagittarius, of this fire, of this celebration, of maybe thinking beyond, she enters into Capricorn, full moon in Capricorn, with penumbral eclipse. So it's not going to be a total lunar eclipse, it's just a penumbral eclipse, and it is the last eclipse that we are going to have on the axis of Capricorn Cancer for the next 36 years. Because it takes 36 years for the lunar nodes to come back to the same sign. And as we have all these planets that are retrograde, and as she's making this last eclipse in Capricorn, I think it's a very good period. It's a very good weekend to actually look at what were you doing 6 months ago, what were you doing at the beginning of the year, end of 2019 and beginning of 2020. What were you planning? What were you envisioning? What were your resolutions for the new year? And maybe taking some time to readjust and revisit these resolutions, because as we are seeing, the world, it's a completely different place than we thought it's going to be when we began this year. And I think it is still going to be like this for a while. This situation is not going to pass as fast as we think it is. So, and that's good because it gives us time to readjust, rethink, and really look at our life from a different perspective, asking these hard questions of what is it that we are becoming and what is it that we are willing to let go of in order to allow these new versions of ourselves, individually and collectively, to emerge to the world. So it is, in my opinion, a good way to look at this restructuring and create space for the new by letting go of what no longer serves you. And those can be very practical things, right? That maybe you are in need of looking at your wardrobe and letting go of old pieces of clothes and creating space for new, or cleaning your house or your car or your documents, or maybe you are leaving a job and starting a new one. Whatever it is that you are doing, pay attention of what is it that you need to close so you can create space. And important for me in this period, also based a little bit on what I've been talking with people and what I've been sensing too, is to maintain ourselves grounded. It is very usual, very easy for most of us to find a lot of different ways to escape reality. It's like we don't like what's happening, we are going through a rough time, it's heavy, it's hard, it's painful. It can bring a lot of what we call dark emotions, and it's very easy for us to want to escape. And that can be either using a lot of different types of substances that we can call drugs, from alcohol to sugar, which can be looked as harmless, but we know that it's not that harmless. We can escape through fantasy, imagining things, not wanting to be here, or using a lot of visuals to distract us, right? Like going into series and into movies, into things that are taking us from the reality. And until one moment, I think it's good to also have all these strategies to actually alleviate a little bit what we are going through. And in the same time, I think it's also very interesting if we keep ourselves grounded, if we keep ourselves in our body, and if we keep ourselves present with all the sensations, with all the feelings, with all the ideas, from this position of the observer, where we can see what's coming to surface, look at it, and then let it go without believing it's the ultimate truth for our life. But having the discernment to understand that things come and things go and nothing is stable. And the more we keep ourselves present, the more we understand that, and we don't attach to things, emotions, beliefs, people, and so on. Things that you can do in order to keep yourself grounded, and I think I've did it before here in one of the videos, is to bring your attention back to your feet, back to your legs, and whenever you have the possibility to do this very rapid, it can be rapid or not that rapid, it can be a little bit slower, tapping with the soil of your feet on the earth. And like this, you activate all your, we activate all our nervous system. We know that our hands, our feet have the extremities of a lot of nervous endings, so nervous system, and a lot of vascular system also. The endings are here, right? From the central nervous system, that is our spine with our brain. It goes through our body, and from our heart, all the veins that go through our body, extremities in the palms and in the feet. So grounding ourselves can mean doing this, and you can really take deep breaths while you do it, allowing this energy to come up from the feet through all the body. This is one tool. It's very easy. You can do it anywhere, almost anywhere, bringing consciousness to yourself here, right now, in your roots. And another thing that you can do when you encounter really strong emotions, like maybe fear or disgust or pain, you can shake it off. We can think about the pure animal instinct here. A lot of animals, when they go through through danger, after they pass the danger, they literally shake it off, right? So you can do that, shake it, your shoulders, your head, your hair, all your body by inhaling, exhaling, shaking it off, and knowing that with this shaking, your body doesn't need to store the emotions that is feeling. The emotions are welcome. They are showing us something, but it is not necessary for us to store it, to keep ourselves attached to them. So we shake it off, we let it go, and we come back to the present moment. These are what I have for you in terms of tips and tricks to go through this period. And let's go into the card reading. I am going to start with the Divine Feminine. And let's ask the cards what is a message for us to keep in mind from this very intense period and from this last segment of the eclipse season. For 6 months, we are going to be free from the eclipses, but also we are going to see what we have planted during this period. So this is the last week, the last 7 days until the full moon of this intensity, the lunar intensity, from the goddess, the great goddess that has so many facets. What is the message? What is a reminder for us all to keep in our hearts during this week? Talking about the mother and her many facets, the card that came is Ananda Mahima, the joy permitted mother, that says, I am my own guru. I know the self that never changes. So it is an invitation to bring joy to our present and to remember that we have the capacity to self-heal. We have the capacity to I think here is to direct our lives, right? To be our own gurus, to stop giving power to the external and taking back our own power and going back to that self that never changes, which for me can be the pure love, the fabric that we are all made of. And together with her message, let's see what is coming from the cards and the teachings of Buddha, the Dharma cards. Next to remembering that we are our own gurus. The card 30 that says pleasure and bliss. And it says like this: the wise let go of small pleasures in order to find the greater one. One who thinks that by causing pain to others he will have any pleasure is entangled in the bonds of hatred. He will never be free. So we have the joy permitted mother and pleasure and bliss, which I find so beautiful to remember for this week, that we do deserve to feel joy, we do deserve to feel pleasure, we are made and we are designed to feel bliss. And no matter how hard or intense this period can be, we do deserve, and the way is through joy, pleasure and bliss. My dear all, I hope you have an amazing week. I hope you allow yourselves to feel joy, to feel pleasure, and to find your bliss, embodying this bliss, embodying the pleasure, and embodying the joy. And I'm going to be off for a couple of weeks. I'm taking some holidays, and these holidays really need me to be offline in order for me to recharge. So I'm going to do my best to stay out of any social media. I am still pondering if I'm going to make some videos and upload them, but I'm not going to promise anything here. Most likely, we are going to see ourselves again on the 20th of July, when I'm going to be back together with the new moon in Leo. Until then, enjoy everything that life is bringing to you. May pleasure and bliss come to your path, and see you soon. Goodbye.